This is Eagle Al, and today I will be talking about the Eagles are out on Justin Simmons. Also, there's a report out there Howie was tampering. Also, we got to talk about Jason Kelce. Sound like he's regretting retiring. And lastly, a CJ Gardner Johnson update. But let's get straight into it. All right, Justin Simmons. It seems like Eagles are out on Justin Simmons, and I'm not surprised. You signed CJ Gardner Johnson, and what you think was going to happen? I mean, we signed CJ. Justice Simmons want too much money, according to Derek Gunn. And best of luck to Justice Simmons. Just don't come to the NFC East. Don't come to the NFC. But if that price go down, don't be surprised if the Eagles like, look, we got this bag. Do you want to come here? We will see. But hopefully Justice Simmons just stay out the NFC. About Howie Roseman, let's get straight into that because Howie Roseman is being accused of tampering for Saquon Barkley. Now these Giants fans are like the Eagles gonna have to give up a pick, this and that. So Pro Football Talk put out an article saying the NFL or something might investigate the Eagles because of what the Penn State head coach had to say about Saquon coming to Philadelphia. But let me play the clip of Penn State head coach.
Be able to play within the state, in Philadelphia. He said that was one of the first things that Howie said to him on the phone as part of kind of his sales pitch to him, was not only the Philadelphia Eagles and that, but obviously the connection with Penn State and the fan bases as well.
As you see, he said something how we sold them on coming back to PA, this and that. So it made it sound like him and Howie, meaning Saquon and Howie was actually talking during I guess you could say the non-tampering time, because you only supposed to talk to the agent, but the way the head coach worded it, it was like how we was talking directly to Saquon Barkley, which wasn't the case because Howie Roseman, multiple articles came out. Howie Roseman just straight up denied it. Like, no, did not talk to Saquon, talk to his agent. The deal is done. And again, this is a coping mechanism by the Giants. Think about it. Pro Football Talk put out this article. Pro Football Talk is ran by a Giants fan and by a Vikings fan. Let me repeat that again. Pro Football Talk host is a Giants fan and Chris Sims, and the Vikings fan is Mark or whatever, Mike Florio. So don't listen to that. Completely not true. Howie was not tampering at all. But you could say the Penn State head coach put Howie in a bad spot, or maybe just worded stuff wrong, and maybe Howie sold that to the agent, not Saquon directly, and people just took that the wrong way, or the head coach said it the wrong way. But again, we're not giving up any picks or anything like that because if it was true, Howie just would have said, I denied to speak on it, this and that. He just straight up denied the allegation. Like, no, it didn't happen. But speaking of Howie Roseman, um, like I said in my last video, he's not done. So Josina Anderson put out a tweet earlier yesterday stating that Eagles are in the market, still in the market for a linebacker and also a backup quarterback. So look out for that. You know how he'd like to get, I won't say big names, or I guess you could say big name backups. So again, I know a lot of people, and I'm somewhat agreeing with y'all the more y'all say it. I know a lot of people don't agree with the Justin Fields thing because how our fans are. Jalen Hurts make one mistake, people gonna be chanting Justin Fields, even though I think Jalen Hurts can handle it. But I just wouldn't be surprised if Howie try to get somebody of that caliber, or even like a Tyler Huntley. He's going to get somebody that somewhat is similar to Jalen Hurts. I think Huntley will be the best fit, but don't be surprised if Howie just do his due diligence around Justin Fields to see if we could get him as a backup. But we in the market for that. And honestly, y'all, I have no idea. Now I've been listening to other content creators on Twitter, like who would the Eagles trade for as far as linebacker? I legit don't know. I legit don't know, but I feel like that's what's going to happen. We're going to end up trading for a linebacker, but Josina Anderson said the Eagles are still in the market for a linebacker. So we know our free agency. Our free agency don't end until week one. We could get somebody during camp. We could get somebody during the draft. You know how we do, but let's see how we do. But speaking of Howie and making deals, let's talk about Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott has been extended. Shout out to Jake Elliott. He's been the best kicker in the league. I know a lot of people will say Justin Tucker, but I believe it's definitely been Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott is tied for the highest paid kicker with just J Tuck or Justin Tucker, whatever you want to call him. They tied for the most money for us kickers, and both guys deserve it. You know, Jake Elliott been doing this thing. History just been made. Remember, Jake Elliott was like, right? He was like some practice squad or some walk-on type guy. Because remember we had that dude Sturgis or something like that in 2017, I believe the Super Bowl year, and he got hurt. And Jake Elliott came in and just been the guy ever since that 2017. And again, well deserved. Jake Elliott was a guy that was just on the Bengals. We signed you, the Eagles, and now you know you're a top kicker in this league. Took full advantage of his opportunities. I remember one year it was a lot of people like, "Yo, it's time to get rid of Jake Elliott," because he did have a bad year. I can't remember the year, but we were like, okay, give Jake Elliott one more shot, and he's been going berserk. He's been going crazy. Again, deserve every dollar he got. And special teams was great. Last season was terrible. But special teams definitely was a bright spot for us. I'm happy we extended the punter, the kicker, the long snapper. Britton Covey, time will come, but he's been playing at a high level. I believe he makes the 53-man roster in general. He doesn't get cut this time or practice squad. But again, special teams been awesome. And again, congratulations to Jake Elliott. All right, speaking of deals, Eagles, because yesterday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, technically the new season has started. So Eagles start announcing guys we officially signed. First was Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is officially signed. Then, you know, the next guy came up, Bryce Huff. Then, you know, we start naming like Matt Hennessy and Zach Byrne, I believe that's his name. And they're like, okay, where's CJ Gardner-Johnson? Everybody was saying, where is CJ Gardner-Johnson? And then a report came out. It wasn't nothing Eagles related, but it got a lot of Eagles fans scared. Remember, Eric Kendrick signed to the 49ers. He was supposed to be a help because Drake Greenlaw, Achilles, they know he's going to miss some time. But he backed out of that deal and ended up signing with Dallas. People like, hold on, wait. CJ ain't going to pull that on us, right? So I went to CJ Twitter. I went to CJ Instagram. I'm like, oh, he still got Eagles-friendly stuff up there. And then the report came out stating that CJ Gardner-Johnson is currently not in Philadelphia and he couldn't sign the contract physically. So Eagles technically can't announce him yet. But as far as everything that's out there, CJ will be a Philadelphia Eagle. I know that will have a lot of fans like scared, but CJ will be a Philadelphia Eagle. Nothing to worry about. He's going to be an Eagle. I guess let's talk about Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce seemed like he having, you know, a little bit of regrets of retiring, but I believe he's going to stay retired because he announced this before anything even happened with Howie Roseman. He like, Eagles are going to be a good team. Howie's going to turn it around. Now I'm telling you, when he start turning it around, he's going to have thoughts of regretting, but he's going to stay retired. But this is what he had to say recently about the Eagles signing Saquon Barkley.
Saquon is entering a good situation in Philadelphia. Social media has been nonstop saying, Jason, you sure you want to retire? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty positive, even though, you know, a little bit upset how we waited till I retired to make a move like this. But, you know, it's fine. It'll work out great. Talked about last week. This is what I'm regretting. I knew when I retired that I was going to miss just an outstanding season for the Philadelphia Eagles, and it sucks. It really does. I want to be a part of this so bad. I wish I could.
As you see, he said, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. Eagles was going to make some splashes, some moves, and now I'm retired. Man, you know what'd be the sad thing about this? Well, I'll be happy as a fan. Jason Kelce, Fletcher Cox retired, right? And Eagles make a deep run and actually win the Super Bowl. I know Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox going to be banging the table. Like, man, Brandon Graham got 2. We only got 1. I'm telling you, man, this team is loaded, man. Trust me, we got more work to do. We got to figure out what we're going to do on the edges. Linebacker, of course. Do we bring in more corner depth? We will see. There's definitely more work to do, but Eagles gonna be one of those teams, man, in the mix. Again, I don't really see a big threat in the NFC. Of course, you still always gonna have the 49ers, but I'm not sure what they're gonna do with Deebo Samuels. Is they gonna send him to the AFC? Cowboys, even though they're not making any moves or anything like that, they still got a good roster. Commanders are coming up, but I don't see them as a threat just yet. Even if they draft like Caleb Williams, I don't really see them as a big threat. But the Eagles, again, should be on top of the NFC and run things. You know, we got the talent. We got the coaches. Should be no excuses, man. But, hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel about the news today? Jason Kelce, Howie Roseman, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Jake Elliott, Justin Simmons. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm up.